we're trying to prosecute the government agencies when they do something wrong. It's not something that people do. What normally happens is if the government or members of the government cheat or steal, and we're not talking about killing people or stealing money, then yes, everybody would be interested in going after them. But what we're saying is that if they are misleading, or if they give false evidence, or if they don't comply with the law, generally speaking, they don't get prosecuted for that, but members of the public do. The most that happens is that people seek compensation, or they say that they should not be prosecuted because the government also did this thing wrong. But what we're trying to do is create a new way of things where people start prosecuting the government proactively as a means of reducing corruption. The law does not differentiate between the government and the people in terms of who can prosecute. But it's just not something that's done as a practical thing. It's a very new way of thinking. We are doing it practically, but a lot of leading academics who are authoritative figures on combating corruption have proposed these theories that we are implementing. There's a lot of research that's gone into this. What normally happens is if an agency screws up, people seek compensation against the government, but the people who made the mistake don't suffer, or they're not accountable. What we want to do is make the individual who does the wrong thing for the consequences, to make the government generally more careful. That's basically the essence of what we're trying to do. Now, because it's not been done before, there's a psychological block that everybody has. For instance, judges who don't have experience, it may seem shocking. To them, you're acting as if you're an unappointed ombudsman or regulator or whatever. But you don't need to be appointed by anyone to anything to enforce the law. All you need is a relationship to the unlawful conduct. If you're affected adversely by the unlawful conduct, then you have a right to enforce the law. Historically, people only seek compensation. What we're also doing is asking for those people to be punished as a means of setting an example to discourage that behavior. Because we're doing that, everybody's a little bit nervous, and they're also concerned about what it means in terms of the precedent once it's done, whether this will be unmanageable if everybody starts doing it. There's a lot of things that go into it, which the court is generally uncomfortable with, especially if it's a new, very radical thing. But there have been extensive studies conducted on this issue. What we want to do is educate everybody about it. We want them to go through the research that's been conducted worldwide by leading universities. That's basically what we're trying to do. Some people hate us because if we succeed, they will personally suffer a lot. They try to use all of the resources they have to attack us. But anyway, we're right. We have all the evidence, and there's nothing they can do about that. The work is extremely urgent, and there's a strictness to it. We're making claims against government bodies, and the nature of the claims is quite serious. We also have irrefutable evidence. The people that we're making allegations against do not have a defense to those allegations. The only way they can obstruct us is by using all sorts of technicalities and bureaucratic hurdles. They do everything that they can to do that. They've used the funds at their disposal to hire lawyers and do all sorts of improper things. Their whole objective is to find some way of shifting the blame, playing the victim, or fabricating an excuse. The most typical way in which they will do it is by implying that they just don't have enough time, or the way in which we're making the allegations is very cumbersome for them, and so on and so forth. They will move heaven and earth to distract attention from serious crimes that they've committed. saying that we had said that we would provide them the documents at this minute, but we are late. So the main thing is that we're late in providing the documents, or so on and so forth. Those are the tactics that they adopt. It's a very standard playbook. It should normally not be entertained by courts. Unfortunately, you have judges who are sometimes compromised, sometimes unwilling to make serious punitive orders against government bodies because of a number of reasons, including the fact that it affects their own career progression. Also, it affects their friendships. All of these people are close generally. Because of all of those reasons, it's important that things be done exactly as they need to be done, and they must be done on time. The work needs to be done with precision. It's more about the process rather than anything else. It's a very process-driven work environment. What we're doing is fundamentally innovative. There's a very strong public interest in what we do. It's a perfectionist organization. We care about the substance of the matter, but we also care about presenting it professionally and being as advanced as we can be in the presentation. So those three requirements, along with the fact that we have a massive backlog at the moment, mean we're working extremely long hours at the moment, and it's sort of a labor of love. People are very passionate about the things. We're working day and night. The way in which we work is fundamentally very sophisticated in terms of the use of technology and optimization strategies. Right now, part of the struggle that we're facing is because we are calibrating the tools that we will use. We're setting up a system and templates that will basically help us scale up very quickly. It will exponentially improve our productivity going forward, and it'll be much easier to maintain things once everything is set up. It's a little bit difficult to grasp these things in the abstract. I sometimes joke about how even though what we're doing is administrative, technically, it has the same sort of urgency that you would see in movies like Mission Impossible or whatever. It's always like there's a bomb about to go off.